Hey, this is Dayspring with Power of X-Men.
This is Sailor Tortilla.
This is Miracle from Magical Melody.
This is Brooke with the Sailor Moon Fan Network, and you're tuned in to Double Moonlight Justice
with Z and Grayson.
Justice.
Hey Sailor Guardians, it is August 2nd and you are tuned into Double Moonlight Justice. Moonlight Justice is a fan podcast dedicated to the hit manga anime franchise Sailor Moon. I'm your host Grayson, and Z was unfortunately unable to participate in this episode. Here on Moonlight Justice we adhere to the Power of Three. The Power of Three are principles we abide by as your Sailor hosts. 1. Practice controversy with civility. We will respectfully discuss our thoughts and opinions without a feeling of judgment. 2. Things can always be discussed constructively and positively. And 3. We will not engage in racism, xenophobia, phobias, or triggers. However, these topics might be addressed in correlation with our discussions. We'll be sure to provide you with a disclaimer beforehand. Our next few episodes of Moonlight Justice will be dedicated to the North American Sailor Moon the Super Live tour. We are excited about this series because Sailor Moon the Super Live is the first instance of a full Sailor Moon musical stage show in America. Sailor Moon the Super Live allows us to connect with you, our Sailor Guardians, and discuss this amazing experience. We have some great guests lined up for you to talk about Sailor Moon the Super Live. If you want to speak with Z and me or submit pre-recorded Q&A, please email us at moonlightjusticepodcast@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram. We are very excited to have Jay join us for this episode.
Yes.
Okay, so let's try that again. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm so glad to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here too.
That's wonderful.
So like I was saying, we talked like right after, like pretty soon after the Super Live show in Chicago, and like we were both like, I can't believe we missed each other, and we were like, oh, we have to come on the podcast so we can talk about it. And I think like you were kind of like the catalyst to start this series of Super Live interviews. So I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool to talk to Jay and other people that went to the show, because this is a unique shared experience for all of us. Yeah. So like what better way to talk about the Super Live, because like rather than just talk about it from my perspective, but to try to get with as many people as possible that have seen it and be able to talk about it. So I know I said this before, but I was like, we have given you a shout out on the podcast in the past, because you gave us the opportunity to watch and review the 2024 Nogi Miyu. So thank you for that.
Of course.
So, besides going to the Super Live show in Chicago, what have you been up to? What's been going on in your world?
Well, I gotta say, despite me having not a lot going on, I also have a lot going on at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
So for instance, like I am working on a new project that I don't know how much I can say about it right now. But I will I will say that it's something that is definitely, I'm gonna say new for me, but also like it's just like it's something that I haven't really done before, and it's something that I'm excited to be a part of. So that's really exciting. And when I'm able to share more details, I definitely will, because that's exciting. There's also, I've been working on my own game recently, which has been in the works for a while.
A game?
I am. It's based on a story that I wrote like back in 2019, and I was like, I can like bring this to life. So I've just been kind of working on that on my off time, and just it's something that's just been like a side project, but I'm very excited about it. So it's just that's I guess that I've been working on.
Okay, so top secret project in a game, and so I'm guessing the top secret project is not Sailor Moon related.
It is not
Is it
at
singing
all.
related?
Top secret.
Oh!
Possibly.
Well, it's really cool to hear that that you are a writer and an aspiring video game developer. So that's actually really interesting to hear. I'm a writer myself, and
I know.
ADHD is real.
Hey, I hit so hard on that.
Because I have been working on this other story, and out of nowhere, the ADHD is like, "We're going to write another story." I'm like, "No, I don't want to write another story. Like, I'm trying to finish the one that I already started." And it was like, "No, we're going to fixate on this new idea, and we're going to work on this now." And I was like, "But I want to finish what I just started. Like, I don't want."
I feel you so hard.
So I'm like, and so naturally, of course, I am working on this new story when I shouldn't be. And I have been drawing a lot more lately. So you saw a couple of my drawings. Those 2 drawings are from that new story. And I'm just like, this is a problem.
Hey, it's not a problem because your art is amazing, so it's not a problem.
I appreciate it, but it was like, oh, I need to work on this story. It's going to be so great. And my brain was like, no, we're going to make a left turn. We're going to work on something completely new. And it's like, no.
Well, you know how the brain works. You're going to work on that project for a bit, and then you're going to segue back into the one and go back and forth until one of them is finally complete.
Yes, exactly. And it's just like, the rationale behind it all, where it's like, oh no, this will just be a one shot, and there's less characters, and and it's just like, my brain's
It's never a one shot.
Right, it's never a one shot, but it's just like, that's the idea. It's like, if it's a one shot, it'll be quicker because the other story is a multi-part story. So it's like, okay, if I do the one shot, I can go back to working on the major. My brain is evil and needs to be destroyed.
Hey, but it's creating some great work. So really, let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I'm definitely very appreciative of creativity, because those drawings that just like came out of nowhere was just like, okay, I can see it, but still, like, we gotta focus on one thing at a time. My brain's like, that's not how we operate.
Nah, not today. I want to work on this today.
So I have been dying to know, because like, I'm always geeked to meet other Sailor Moon fans. So I always say, like, this question is inspired by Z, because I never think to ask this question, because I figure as an elder millennial that the Sailor Moon journey is similar for most people my age. But how did you get into Sailor Moon?
Okay, so this is gonna age me because I don't even know if this is a thing anymore. But so I didn't grow up with Sailor Moon. I had heard about the grapevine. My first anime was like Inuyasha, so that's kind of what I grew up with. But as I got older and I was getting into more things online and stuff, and there was this fighting game called Mugen, and I don't know if it's still a thing anymore. But
Mugen? Yeah,
yes, is it still a thing?
it's still a thing. It's ridiculous.
Okay, fantastic. So I grew up playing that game, and like, you'd add a bunch of characters in there, and I had heard about the
Right.
Sailor Senshi, and I had put them in there not knowing where they were from. And then years later, I was like, I've seen these characters, I've played these characters, where are they from? And then it's like Sailor Moon. I'm like, okay, I've heard about that throughout the years, but I never watched it. And then I just downloaded it off some website, because that was before the 20th anniversary and all the the Hulu streaming and all that, and Neon Alley,
Right.
if y'all remember that one.
Yes.
So
Favorite spot.
so before that, you had to go through like hoops and stuff, because it was hard to find it in stores anymore, because it wasn't licensed anymore. So I had downloaded off some random website, and then I started like with, I think, the Japanese, and then like the second season I had done like half of it through the Deke dub, and then I didn't really like it. No shade, I'm not getting to that fandom more, no thank you. But and then I went back to Japanese for the rest of the series, and then I grew to love it, and then it spiraled from there, and now I'm just obsessed.
I thought Z took the cake with her "How did I get in the Sailor Moon" question, and you have kind of like blown her out of the water, because I've never heard anybody say, I got into Sailor Moon because I played Sailor Moon through Mugen. and decided to go back and find out what it was about. Like that's so niche and unique, and that's what I love about like Sailor Moon. Like it's so amazing, like how people get into it. Like I would have never guessed in a million years that that's how you got into Sailor Moon.
It definitely wasn't conventional.
No, not at all. And it's so funny because Z's like she got into PGSM first, and so I'm always
Right.
like, you got into the nichest, rarest, deep cut of Sailor Moon, and because it's not easy to watch. And it's like for me, it's like, you know, it's like this hodgepodge journey that you had, like first through a video game, and then part Japanese, part English, back to Japanese, and it just went from there. Like it's very cool.
I definitely say my journey through Sailor Moon was definitely an interesting one. I never really, you know, I'm from the age of like watching like anime on YouTube, like part 1, part 2, like you're probably not going to find part 3 because that got taken down by copyright, so you're just going to kind of go through it. So
You guys
Sailor
are so
Moon was
lucky.
kind of crazy.
You guys are so lucky because it was like, because Z's like, yeah, I watched PGSM on YouTube and stuff like that. And I was like, you guys are so lucky because when PGSM first aired back in 2003, we were watching it as it was airing in Japan, and we had, like, thank God for the internet, like, you know, in the Sailor Moon community, because it was like Eternal Ruth, who was a very prominent creator during that time. She was getting the Japanese airings and splitting it into like 10-piece zip files that we had to download unsubbed, little clock in the corner from Japanese television. And we watched the show, like we'd watch the show in multiple parts, and then we had to delete them because we didn't have the room to keep the clips. And then we had to go back onto the internet and find the synopsis website to figure out what happened because we didn't know Japanese and didn't understand what was going on.
You know, I thankfully I didn't have to deal with PGSM because I had bought a bootleg off of eBay and just watched it through there. Shout out to those subs, Queen Berry, I love you. But you know, I didn't get into cinema until later, so obviously we had other mediums to watch stuff like PGSM.
Right.
And I had heard so much crap about PGSM, and then when I actually watched it, I'm like, why are there so many haters? This is glorious.
It's definitely not everybody's cup of tea, and it struggled in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad they dropped the ballet foo. But it's like, you know, like I'm like, just get to the mid-season and it's just gonna get better from that point forward. But you know, it was very in line with what was on TV at the time, and I'm just amazed like how many people don't know about it, and so they're always surprised to see it.
You know, it is a niche thing, but like once you actually watch it, most people, especially if they like Sailor Moon, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, this is actually really good.
Right. Yeah, and like going back to Z, it's so funny, like when she was like, I watched PGSM first. I'm like, oh my gosh, you watched PGSM first. What was it like watching the anime? Because it doesn't go anything like the anime. She's like, oh no, I was surprised.
Yeah, they're very different.
Right. So in the course of your Sailor Moon journey, have you decided or settled upon who your favorite Sailor Senshi might be?
Oh, that is, I have decided, but it's like with an asterisk. My favorite is Sailor Pluto.
Okay.
But Venus is like right under it, right under her. Like smidgen.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think it's the same for. Well, honestly, my favorite is Sailor Moon, and like I said, like I always say, that's like the Miss Universe answer of, you know, the Sailor Moon community. It's like, who's your favorite Sailor Moon? Sailor Moon. I like the main character. And I think we're gonna steal that one. It's like with an asterisk. There's always like an asterisk because there's always like extras that go along with it. It's like Sailor Moon. I love Sailor Mars. I love Sailor Venus.
Exactly.
So so it's like it's hard to choose a favorite, but so it's like I like that asterisk. It's like if I had to choose, this is who I would choose. But there's a caveat to it because there's extras that go along with it.
Exactly. You can't just really just pick one because there's just so many amazing characters in the series.
Right. So, we talk about people asking like who their favorite Sailor Senshi is, but one thing I noticed is that while we tend to choose our favorites, our favorites are not necessarily always the one that are like our personalities.
Right.
So you said Sailor Pluto and Sailor Venus. Are those characters close to your personality? Is that why they're your favorites?
You see, I'd say my personality is more of a mix of like, I'd say a little bit of Pluto, but also definitely a bit of Ami.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit of Minako too, like when I'm like really feeling excited.
Okay, so yeah, absolutely. So I think so like I've answered this before, where it's like Sailor Pluto is definitely closer to my personality. I'm an introvert. Like I'm okay being by myself, but I also enjoy being around people and talking about shared experiences and interests and stuff like that. So I definitely resonate with Pluto in that way. Z said that she sees a little bit of Sailor Mercury in me too.
Okay.
But I think it's always interesting to learn like who's favorite, like who your favorite Senshi is, and then finding out what Senshi they are most like. It's like, oh, your favorite's not anything like your Senshi that's most like you or anything like that. So it's always interesting to hear those answers. So I think another thing that tends to happen when we ask about favorites is that they tend to focus on the main cast and the main characters. But is there a favorite Sailor Moon character or supporting character that is your favorite?
Supporting character. Okay. This might be like, I think everyone picks this character, but I have to pick it, is PJ-sen Motoki, because I love him in his turtle obsession. I love PJ-sen Motoki.
Oh, I know Z is gonna be crying when she hears this episode because she loves PJ-sen and she loves Motoki.
Oh,
She loves turtles too, so it's just like Motoki is like right up there on her top list, and so whenever she gets a chance, she's like Motoki from PJ-sen. She loves his characterization. She loves that he loves turtles. He's definitely more fleshed out in PGSM than he is in any other medium.
yes.
So it's really cool to see like his character in that way. And again, for me, I tend to go Miss Universe and say Naru / Molly from Sailor Moon. I think it's also because of the exposure. She was like exposed a lot through the anime itself, so I think that's one of the reasons like why a lot of people say that, because she's like next to Umino the most prominent supporting character that shows up throughout the series.
Yeah.
So but I just loved her in the original Japanese and her arc with Nephrite. Like it was, and I feel like there was more planned for her and it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I really feel like they could have done a lot more, especially in Stars with her.
Right.
And they just kind of didn't. But like, I will say that for those who haven't watched the musicals yet, watch Nogimi. You'll get a bunch of Naru content.
Yes, she's I loved her in Nogimiyu. So we talk about favorites Senshi, we talk about favorite supporting characters, but I know you have a favorite villain from Sailor Moon. So who would that be?
Once again, we have to go with the asterisk here because yes, anime, manga, I'm picking Sailor Galaxia all day.
Okay.
But if we're talking Mew, I'm going with Dracul.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's fucking Yuta Mochi. Oh wait, can I curse? I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
It's Yuta Mochizuki all day.
Yeah. Oh wow. And again, it's always interesting to hear these answers because that's definitely a first for someone to say Dracul. I love Vampire.
Yes, Queen.
Hikari Ono is amazing.
Absolutely.
And like, I told you before, like, All of You Shall Die was probably like one of the first Miyu songs that I've ever heard without even knowing where it came from or what it was even about.
Oh, okay.
Because back in back in the day, like 1999, when I was getting more into Sailor Moon and watching Japanese stuff like that, I was trying to get as much content as I could, and with the limitations of the internet and what was available, I could only get like bits and pieces and scraps. So for me, it was like a song here, a clip there. So like La Moon and All of You Shall Die was the first two Miyu songs that I've ever heard, and I loved them, but I had no context whatsoever to put them into. I just assumed like it was like from the anime, because there wasn't anything for me to really connect it to.
Right.
So I love Vampire, Nehelinia all day, every day, especially the 90s anime. I love her. I love Galexia too. So yeah, definitely got to put that asterisk on there. Queen Nehelinia is at the top, but it's like that asterisk gives me some wiggle room because I love Galexia in the 90s anime, but Galexia for me is Le Mouvement Finale.
That's a good pick.
Koko Isuzu sang the house down with that role. Like I was rewinding it when I first watched Le Mouvement Finale. I was like, oh no, rewind. I want to see this song again.
Oh, Coco's amazing.
Yeah, she was just, I was not, and a lot of people were like iffy. Remember like when it was like announced that she was going to be Galexia, and people were like, oh, I don't know, because she sings in such a different register. She sings in a different register than what is expected of Galexia. So I don't know if that's going to work. And then she was like, ha, I'll show you.
She like, ate that up. Like I remember the discourse because they're like, I don't know. Especially because we had such amazing previous actresses for Galexia.
Correct.
But she just came in and she was like, yep, I'm all that.
Right. Right. I got the Snail K costume. Yeah.
Oh, she's slayed. I love her. And she's so cool too. Like if you ever like interact with her on social media, she is so chill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always feel like iffy about doing that.
And then there's me who just can't get enough of it. I'm just like, hi, I love you. Please accept my love. Thank you.
So we went to the Chicago show, the Sailor Moon the Super Live in Chicago. And I want to know, what was the experience like for you?
Oh my god, it was so amazing. I just wish there wasn't like IRL circumstances that kind of make me kind of blur a little bit, but it was just such an amazing experience. Like, I don't know when you got there. I got there like an hour early before the doors even opened.
I was in the line, and so I think we got there an hour early because we weren't sure how long the line was going to be. And I was in line behind this girl dressed as Setsuna, and she was wearing a trench coat.
I want to say I saw her, but it's kind of been a few months now, so I'm like, it's blurry.
So it's I love this conversation because it's like you can kind of like understand what I'm talking about, because by the time like the line was like down the sidewalk, right?
Oh,
so you must have been like up front, like
yes,
by the main doors. I was a part of the line that went on the side, like they moved the line to the side of the building. That's how I got in.
Okay. So yeah, I was by the doors. I was like, I saw when they even turned the lights on for like above like the marquee and stuff.
Yeah.
So like when I got there, the lights weren't on yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you got there really early, because by the time we got there, the line was crossing that alleyway by the side of the theater. And then like maybe like 20 or 30 minutes before the doors opened, they split the line and allowed us to go in through the side entrance.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay, that's news to me. That's so cool. Wait a minute.
So did you have the VIP?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't either. So I think the side entrance was for the VIP initially.
Yes, yeah, I was so bitter. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, it is cold. Can we just let us inside? We didn't gotta go to the shopping. Can we just go inside? I'm cold.
Right. So I think they let the VIP in, and they were doing the meet and greet and everything like that. and then there was people waiting up front, and like the line was getting long, and so I guess they didn't want to obstruct traffic and stuff like that, so they decided to split the line. Got in. The first thing I did, I got into the merch line.
Same. That was the first thing I did.
So I was in the merch line. I got a couple of hoodies, and then I have really bad social anxiety, so I was a little bit overstimulated and overwhelmed already because it was sold out. There was over 3,000 people there.
Listen, 1,000%. I'm the exact same way, and I had the exact same reaction.
So I had my best friend with me, and so he's never watched Sailor Moon, so this is like his first like real experience with Sailor Moon.
Okay.
And so we went upstairs, we took pictures, and then we were like waiting around for them to let us go to our seats. So I was situated on the second floor balcony, like right over the first, like over the, I think it was like the pit and the stage. Where were you seated at?
Okay, so I was floor level, and I was like towards the back. I wasn't in the complete back, but I was towards the back.
Okay, so you're like under the balcony?
Yeah, I was under the balcony for sure.
Okay.
So, and even then, like, unless I was like in the front, we probably wouldn't have seen each other because you have to like be really in front for like the top people to be able to see you.
Right.
But like I remember like I was like looking around. I was like trying to see if I recognized anyone, and I did see one person there who we had talked about like before, like even like before like you know we had got there. We're like, oh my god, we need to meet up because we've done covers together. We need to see each other.
Right.
And my socially awkward self, I feel so bad. I was just like, I'm smiling, I'm happy, but I'm just like, I don't have much to say, but like, I'm so happy to see you.
Right. I'm trying to reserve my social battery as much as I can right now.
Right. I'm just like, I'm so awkward in person. Like, I am not portraying that properly over voice because it's different, but in person, it's a lot different. So I'm just like standing awkwardly, like, I'm so sorry. I'm so happy to see you though.
So I've asked this question, like, so I mentioned this when I talked about the Super Live with Z, and then I mentioned again we talked about it with Sailor Victoria, but you were there. So
yes.
Was it just me that found it odd that people were like laughing a lot during the romantic scenes?
I have complained about this many times in the server, so many times, because there was so much inappropriate laughter that I'm like, okay, I know we're all adults here, most of us. I'm sure there's some young people here, which, you know, Sailor Moon's for everyone, you know? But, you know, spoiler alert, I don't know if, like, you know, we can talk about spoilers, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people, especially at this point, since they've released on YouTube, have seen the Super Live at this point. At the point where Usagi, you know, does the thing that you can't mention on YouTube, and there was laughter, and I'm like, you're ruining the immersion, please.
Okay, I feel very validated that it wasn't just me, because it's just like one of those things where it's just like I didn't say anything, but if you could see the look on my face, and I was like, how dare you?
No, same.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting there thinking like, this is why the Japanese don't like the Americans, because this is the type of stuff that you people do. This is why we can't have anything nice.
This is why we can't have nice things. Why do you do this? Now, I will say, I will give them credit. When the cheering was needed, they showed out.
They showed out. Like, they clapped after, like, the big numbers. You know, like, the energy was there. But
absolutely.
I guess for me, it was just, like, one of those things where it's just... And I think, and I told Z this, too, that I'm so used to watching Miyu on my computer or on my TV, and most of the recordings take place in Japan, and they don't do half the stuff that we do.
Yes.
In the audience. So I think that's what threw me off and was kind of like what made me feel some type of way and giving them the side eye, because it was like, they didn't do this in the Japanese. They didn't do this in Japan, so I don't know what y'all doing. Like,
see, one of my only gripes besides the inappropriate laughter was just cheering for every single thing, because sometimes it, like, if they were singing and I can't hear them singing because you're cheering, I'm like, please just like wait till the end of the song and then cheer, please. Yeah. Like, I'm glad that y'all are happy. I'm happy. We're all happy.
Right.
But, like, Girly is up there belting her notes. Can I hear her, please?
Yeah, it was just, I was like, oh gosh, like that. You're like, it's a 10 out of 10, but that audience experience kind of brings it down to a 9. I'm like, if only I could if money was not an object, I would pay to have an empty theater just so I could watch this in peace.
That was my one thing. Like, it's just, and I'll be fair, like the people around me, like in my general vicinity, were pretty fine. But it's a big theater. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, it wasn't anyone in my immediate vicinity. But it was just like I knew it was coming from somewhere. So I'm like kind of like looking around, like, who is that?
Did that? I did definitely give side eyes. Obviously, it's dark, so you can't see the side eyes. But I was just like,
Right.
who laughed? Which one of you did it?
And I never want to like come off as like one of those like snobby elitist Sailor Moon fans because I'm not that at all. But like, time and place, people. Time and place.
Exactly. Like, we're all having fun, and I'm glad you're having fun. But like, Mamoru just walked on stage. It's Riona Tatemichi who just walked on stage, and you're laughing. Do not. Not Riona.
I love Riona so much.
I love that woman so much.
I fell in love with her when she appeared as Rubius.
Oh, she was.
And I was like, who is this person?
I mean, she is the Neo Hikari Ono. She has done a lot of the roles.
Yes, thank you so much. That's so validating. I was telling you, I was like, she's modern day Hikari Ono because no one can do what she does besides Hikari Ono.
Listen, Hikari and Riona are the ones that make the gay guys scream, and we all know this.
So, this is one of the reasons why Z was like so excited to have you because you are a Miyu fan.
I am.
So, was this the first live Miyu that you experienced?
It was.
Okay. So, other than it being the first live Miyu that you've seen, what got you into Miyu? What was like your first Miyu that you watched?
Okay, so this is my. It's funny because me and another one of my friends who are in the Mew community have very similar stories about our first musical because we watched the opposite one. So my first was Black Lady Kaiteiban, and her first was the original Black Lady.
What?
And I watched it on YouTube on my 3DS. So that shouldn't be that old, but like it's actually starting to feel old now. But
oh my gosh, the fact on a 3DS, like I never even thought to do something like that. And for me, it's like the Super Live was my first Miyu, and like I was telling Z, I was not hyped for the Super Live.
Okay,
I was very skeptical because I was like, I assumed it was going to be like the one in Japan where it was kind of like minimal dialogue, like mainly songs geared towards foreign audience and tourists and stuff like that. So I thought it was going to be like kind of like just like a show, not a story. So I went in with very low expectations, and I think also part of my misconception was the clips that were appearing on social media. It was mainly the encore show that they were showing because that's when you could record. So I was like, oh, we gotta put our phones away? Like, okay, like I guess I thought we were allowed to do that. So I was like, oh, it's a story. That's why. And then at the end, they were like, take your phones out. I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. But yeah, so that was my first Miyu experience. I didn't get into Miyu until the Nel-K revival.
Okay, yeah, same here.
And for me, it was like, and I've been aware of Sarah Miyu. Like, I had all the Sarah Miyu soundtracks and everything like that because I love the music. But I didn't have a lot of context to go with the music. Shout out to Sailor Moon Center.
Shout out to y'all.
Because that's where I got the music from. SailorMusic.net for the anime soundtracks and Sailor Moon Center for the musical soundtracks. But yeah, it was very hard for me to get into the Bandai era because the costumes were so gaudy and out, like over the top, and I just didn't have the capacity to appreciate it for what it was. It just, for me, I was like looking for something very aesthetically akin to the anime, the manga, and stuff like that. So the Bandai Miyu costumes really threw me off, and I also had to learn like, oh, this is, like for me, it's like not coming from a musical or stage background. It took me a minute to realize that the stages, the costumes are made for the people, in the back of the audience and then, in the nosebleed seats and stuff like that. So when I would see it, I would like squint so I could make it blurry and see. I was like, okay, I can see it now. But Nelke was kind of like my bread and butter because I was like, oh, you know, the costumes are more aesthetically aligned with what I'm used to seeing.
Right.
Music was great, and it followed, and the story was very linear.
Definitely.
You know, in comparison to Bandai. But during the pandemic is when I went back and watched all the Bandai, and I was like, okay, now I see why everybody's hyped about the Bandai, because this is amazing.
I do gotta say with Bandai, especially because I had known about the Sailor Moon musicals before I got into them, but at the time I was closeted and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna watch that. That's the girls. Yeah, that quickly changed. But but once I actually sat down and watched Black Lady Kaitaban, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. What have I been missing? And then I just binged them all, and then I was like apprehensive to the Nelke ones because I was like, I don't know, I'm pretty accustomed to the Bandai ones, and they do have different vibes, you know.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know, and then I got into them, and now I'm just mute everything. Give me recordings of Shining Moon Tokyo Nelk. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, the original Super
Live
Live, Shining Moon Tokyo, like, and I'm like so mad that we got just an instrumental soundtrack for the Super Live in Japan.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, they have that footage. They're just sitting on it. They have it. They've shown the previews.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen the previews. I know there's lyrics to these songs. Like, what's going on here? Like, why did you release the instrumental? And for me, it's like, you know, the speculation, like, are they going to do an American show? Is this what this is for? Like,
well, yes, but asterisk.
Right, asterisk. But yeah, definitely big shout outs to Miss Dream. Please come back, Miss Dream.
We miss you.
We miss you so much. And Sea of Serenity, the Discord and the website, which have been great resources. And I think it's like websites like that kind of like give us exposure to more content from Sailor Moon that we wouldn't necessarily have access to through traditional means. Even with the advent of streaming, there's still a lot of Sailor Moon content we do not have access to.
Yeah.
So it's like it speaks volumes when we have passionate individuals that take the time and the money and energy to create the archive and create the resources for other fans to access and, you know, expand their Sailor Moon experience.
Exactly.
So, you know, and I think it's like, and we have to give credit where credit is due. I think it's those individuals that have created this that allowed the Super Live to even come to America. Like, I think that it would be remiss of me not to mention that at all, because I don't think that because I think if people weren't aware of the musicals, I don't think it would have become I don't think the Super Live would have ever happened. Like,
no, probably not, because it's been a Japan exclusive thing for so many years.
Correct.
And,
yes,
you know, notoriety, especially these days, is online. So a lot of people have
Yes.
to know about this online and hear about it online. And I tweet at Nelke like every month. So like they probably are tired of me, but they have to know that there's international audiences. So like, hey, let's
Right.
make money. And I'm like, yes,
Right.
please take my money. I will give it all to you, please.
right. Like I was saying, like, I did go into the Super Live with very minimal expectations, because I was almost of the mindset that it was going to be similar to when the Nelke cast came to Texas. I think it's Anime Matsuri.
Yes.
And they did, you know, like, they had like, you know, dancers, the main cast, and they did their songs or whatever. So that's what I was expecting the Super Live to be like. So I was very surprised by how the story like unfolded. So, and it was new songs. It wasn't the Super Live songs that were, you know, in Japan initially. These were new songs created for this show. So did you have a favorite song from the Super Live? With an asterisk songs?
Yes, it has. There's no picking one, because this entire soundtrack was so good. I mean, like,
Yes.
they put everything into it. Like, I will say, okay, for returning songs, it's always going to be "You're My Universe," because
Yes.
oh my god, I love that song so much.
Me
and
too.
Lost Soldier, shout out to you too, because you're the OG.
Yes.
But as for new songs, can I pick anything other than We Are Sailor Guardians? Like, that is just the song for this musical. Like,
I love that song.
it's so I listen to it like daily. Like, it is
Well, you make you listen to it daily. There's a soundtrack. I can download a soundtrack.
We'll talk after the podcast. But it's such a good song, and both casts did so well performing it. Like, I cannot stop talking about it. It's so good.
Yes. For me, the Sailor Guardian song is my favorite, and I just love a good, like, and I guess for me, and we will never be soldiers of love. From the Bandai Miyu is one of my favorite, like, team song.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Five Women of the White Moon, Sky of Jewels, We Are Sailor Guardians. I guess it's akin to that Bandai Miyu moment for me. That was also one of, so it's like La Moon, All of You Shall Die, and We'll Never Be Soldiers of Love again, or something like that. That, I guess for me, it's just like very nostalgic for me. So when they sing it, and I was telling Z, like, they sing it completely. So I was like, I love Five Women of the White Moon, but it's like for the first two musicals, like, I had to, like, Mercury didn't sing, and then it was a remix, and then I finally get Five Women of the White Moon in Amor Eternal, and Venus doesn't sing, and I'm like, what the hell?
You know what? Shout out to Anime Matsuri. They let her get her line finally.
Yes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, for once, I just want to have a complete song in the musical.
Right, and it's such a shame that they don't have the vocal tracks for the original Super Live, because the original Watashi Tachi Sailor Guardians, which
yes,
so good.
And I have no idea what they are saying. I have no idea how the song sounds. I only heard the instrumental. Okay. I need to give you some links, because
like, you are missing out.
Right. So yeah, I love the Sailor Guardian song. Queen Beryl, like, just blew my mind.
Oh my god.
And I was telling Z that, I love Beryl from La Reconquista. Very operatic, very dramatic, very melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely one of my favorite portrayals of Beryl in a musical. And this Super Live Beryl is number 2.
Oh, okay.
Because she brought this humor and upbeatness to a character that is usually angry, rage-filled, and sad.
Right.
And for her to kind of, like, take this role and turn it on its head, and it worked.
It definitely did. She brought, because there's been a lot of Queen Beryls. We've had a lot of amazing actresses.
Yes, absolutely.
But when you look at Sayaka Okamura, she is someone who went from playing Princess no Kaguya to playing Queen Beryl, and brought in, like, she just brought in a whole new vibe to Beryl. Now,
Whoa!
I am so sorry. Huh?
That was Princess no Kaguya?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No wonder I loved her, because she killed it as Snow Kaguya. I loved her. I did not make the connection. I should have known better, because we were literally like saying, like, oh, it's so cool to see that. This one made me misty, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is the cast from the Kaguya musical, and it's so cool to see them in person. And I was wondering why they did that, because I was like, wait a minute, why are they including an actual cast from the Miyu in a Super Live show? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then when I was like, oh, it's a story, I was like, oh, now it makes sense. But I did not know that was. How did I not know that?
I mean, to be fair, like I am extremely well versed in Mew. Like this is like what I live and breathe. So like I'm like a
I thought I was too, but for me to miss Kaguya, like I was like, because I asked Z this on the last podcast, but the Mars in the London show, isn't she in a Miyu too? Like, what didn't she play a character in the Miyu?
She did. She played Human Luna.
Oh,
For
what?
the Kaguya music. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I knew she looked familiar, and I could not. And honestly, I kept thinking. My mind kept going to Vidui from Un Nouveau Voyage because they look similar. So I was like, maybe that's where she came from. And then, see,
you had okay, but you have a point though because she was Mars in the previous Super Live.
okay, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
maybe that's
so
why I got mixed up. Okay, all right, okay, I feel vindicated.
So
Because
you're
I'm
there. You
pretty
had the
good-
right
I'm
brain
pretty
track.
good I was like, I'm pretty good about recognizing people because I was. But for me, it was like, but it's just, I guess that it's a testament to that actress's portrayal of Beryl and Kaguya because she, like, there was no similarities whatsoever between the two.
No, not at all. But she brought her own energy that she
Yes.
carried, like from her previous roles, into this one, and it's like, yes, this is a different character, but this is Sayaka Okamura, the queen that she is. Ugh, love her.
I loved her in Kaguya. Like, honestly, like and shout out to Sea of Serenity because I got that comprehensive Kaguya soundtrack with the karaoke and the instrumentals. I have been wearing that soundtrack out.
Well, respectfully, I love Sea of Serenity. I first of all, I'm gonna shout out. It's run by two people, and they are both amazing.
Yes.
The one who ripped those tracks was Moa.
I knew it. I know, because how do you think? Because Z was the one that told me, and she was like, "Music of the Spheres" is the one that put it on there, and it took me, and for me, and we followed each other on X when I was on X, so it took me a minute to make the correlation between J and Music of the Sphere, because it wasn't until I got the Nogi Miyu musical, because Z was the one that told me. She's like, Music of the Spheres put Nogi Miyu on there and stuff like that. I was like, oh, so cool. And I was like, and then when I mentioned that we did the review and you're like, oh, thank you for doing the review, whatever. And it was like, and you said I was the one that put that. I was like, oh my God, you're the one.
Well, to be fair, I kind of try to separate like different accounts from like certain
I
things,
know.
but at the same time, my certain like something like X, I just kind of like it's just me all around, like all my YouTube channels and stuff. I just kind of put it all in one because I kind of couldn't care less to make separate accounts for that. But
Right.
something like different socials, I'm like I keep my IRL and my online line separate, but also like, hi, that's me.
It's, oh my gosh, it's just I just love like all these little connections that are being like my little synapses are just firing off because I was like, oh my gosh, like Kaguya is Beryl and Human Luna is Mars, and I was right about Mars being Vilui, and I'm like, oh, like it's just like
you're there.
But it's just like it's just. And it just makes me love Beryl that much more because Kaguya stole the show from me because she was singing her little heart out.
Oh my god, she had like one specific song in the Kaguya musical that was just like, it was like fast, and she was just like singing her lyrics so quick and so powerful. I was like, oh, love you.
So, oh my gosh, like it just makes it that much more amazing. So we talked about favorites. Well, you did mention the Sailor Guardian song, but like, you didn't tell me your favorite though.
My favorite is Watashita. I'm sorry, that's the original, but that one too, love that one. But We Are Sailor Guardians. That is my favorite song from the Super.
All right. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything because it's definitely my favorite too. I love, and it was like, and they did the attacks during, which just made my day because I was so mad at I was so mad at the Kaguya musical for not doing that.
I never even noticed it, to be honest. That's one thing I never noticed.
I pay attention to these things because so I love Wiki Moon,
Mm-hmm.
and Wiki Moon is great for like some quick entries about the musicals.
Yes.
And so I'm a very like behind the scenes type person. I love IMDb. So I love like whenever I see something on Sailor Moon, I'm always like looking it up on Wiki Moon. Especially when I was watching the musicals and I would scroll all the way down to the bottom. And at the bottom of the Wiki Moon page, you'll see all the transformations that were used in the musical, all the attacks that were used in the musical, and everything like that. So I'm always like I get like really geeky about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back after watching Kaguya, and I was like there was only like one transformation, and only the outers attacked. Like it was very like, and I was like, and I didn't notice it at first either until I went to Wikimoon. I was like, nobody attacked. Like what is going on? Like Sailor Moon, the outer senshi, but I was like none of the inners. Like what is going on? Like it's just like I just look forward to those like moments in the show, like, and they're callbacks to all the way back from Bandai. So it's like for that to be very minimal in the Kaguya musical was like what?
You know, I think it's honestly because it was so focused on the side characters that really the senshi took a back seat in that musical.
Yes, they did.
But to be fair, honestly, when you look back, like even like at the manga and the movie, it's not really focused on the senshi either. Like they have their attacks, but there's not that many. That being said, though, if Venus whipped out her Love Me chain, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah, and you know it's funny that you say that because, and this ties into the next question about like favorite Super Live moments. I loved Venus in the Super Live in comparison to her appearance in Kaguya. I feel like this portrayal for this actress in the Super Live was a lot stronger and more akin to Sailor Venus as a leader. And the Super Live in comparison to the Kaguya, where it was just like she's like happy-go-lucky and kind of like all over the place. And I was like, girl, get it together.
One thing I adore about her is she can play both 90s anime and manga Minako so well.
Yeah,
she has both of those aspects to her. And not every Venus can do that. No shit, because I am a Venus lover. I love all of them. They are all queens.
Yes.
But one
Shiori
thing about...
is my favorite, for sure.
Oh, don't even get me started. I love that queen so much. But Marin stole my heart. I can't lie. She became my new favorite. There's something about her that just brings out so much Venus from different portions of the franchise, and that's what I love so much about her. She just brings it all to one.
Yeah. I can see that. For sure.
Absolutely.
So, gosh, there's so many moments in the Super Live. It's very hard to narrow down just one. I definitely loved the opening with Sailor V.
Oh my god, yes.
That was totally unexpected. I did not know they were going to do that. I definitely loved a lot of the Usagi Mamoru moments.
Yes.
Just because they weren't like over the top, they're very subtle. It flowed naturally for me. Like it didn't seem rushed.
No, it didn't. They gave plenty of fleshing out to that.
Correct. And I love this. I loved it when the Sailor Guardians came together. And the final battle definitely gave me like Leroy Conquista vibes. So I love, like, I think those are like the standout moments for me. And of course, like, Queen Beryl for sure.
Yeah. For me, I definitely say my favorite moment, and this is one moment that I can never forget because it was so amazing, was when they did You're My Universe a cappella going into the Starry Heavens.
Yes.
That entire moment was just so breathtaking. Like, Riko's vocals, oh my god. It's not easy to sing a cappella, and her strong voice of singing that, and then the lights with, the senshi signs and just the ribbons. Ugh, that was such a good moment.
Yes. Yes, I loved it. And I was telling Z, I love the actress that plays Mercury.
Yes.
she's just very Mercury-esque, and I just love that about her. And I was telling Z, I was a little bit too focused on her because when they were doing the ribbon thing, she kind of messed up.
Oh, you saw it too.
And I was like, oh no! And then she fixed it like right away, and I was like, okay, I maybe I'm the only one that knows because I was really like staring right at her the entire time, and it was just like, just looking at the costume and stuff like that. It was just like, oh my gosh, like these are the Kaguya costumes, like with some minor tweaks. And to think that they were on stage in Japan doing that musical, and now they're here in America doing this show, and it's just like very surreal. Like it almost felt like a dream.
It did. I'm so glad they recorded a version of it. Yeah, it's not the one that we went to, but it's still the same show, and I'm so glad they recorded it so I could be like, yes, that I saw that.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it was just like, for me, it was pretty much, the execution was flawless. Like
Yes.
I loved it. Z was, so a lot of these questions came from Z herself because she didn't get to go to the show.
Oh no.
So I know she was really excited to be in this podcast episode because she watched the UK show this week.
Yes.
So I know she was like geeked to talk about it. So, because she was like, so one of her questions was like, what was your favorite element of Super Live? Was it the sound, the stage design, the costuming, and stuff like that? And I told her, like, you know, it was really cool seeing the costumes. Even like my friend and my brother who like saw my clip on my social media, he was like, wow, this is like really like top notch costuming. Like they really look like they just like hopped out of the anime. I was like, the stage design was really cool. It was very akin to Leroy Conquista. But that middle staircase, I was scared someone was going to just do and just like fall.
It spirals, so I can definitely see that. And there's no like railings or anything, so it's got to be like,
right.
They had to be really careful. And that did happen in Nogibu 2024. So
did it?
It wasn't recorded. It was during the rehearsals.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the Team Moon.
So we were talking about our favorite elements, like costuming. The stage design was really cool. The music was amazing.
Yes.
I loved the screen, the use of the screen, and because I was like, how am I going to hear or understand what these people are saying? Because they're going to be talking in Japanese. So, shout out to Brooke with the Sailor Moon Fan Network, because it was her video that prepared me for the Super Live, because I didn't know what I was going to walk into, and she was like, so my reason for getting the merch line was because I watched her video. And like they were like, oh, there's subtitles on the screen and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, thank God. But it wasn't like jarring. You know, like it blended in very well. Like I was saying, like I mentioned this before, where it's like I could read what was happening and still watch what was happening at the same time. Like it wasn't so distracting where I was like, I didn't see what happened because I was too busy reading.
They did a very good job, especially because how giant the screen was.
Yes.
You could like see, the subtitles and then look down and see the performers, and it worked really well. And especially for people, I think, who were on the top level like you, who had a better view, could see everything. Whereas some on the floor like me had to look a bit more, had to, kind of juggle, but it wasn't distracting. It wasn't, especially like during like songs and stuff where the lyrics were so ginormous, you could easily see them all look at the cast.
Right.
And that's why I feel a little sad that New York had a smaller screen, but they had one on the side, so it kind of helped. I don't know. Maybe the venue kind of couldn't fit the giant screen, but like that giant screen, when I walked into the theater, it was like jaw dropping. Like, what is this?
I was like, what in the world? It was just like, I felt like I was in Japan initially, because I was like, oh my gosh, like and the theater was amazing. Like the architecture was amazing in the theater. It was just like so weird just being there and knowing what I'm there for. And it just felt, it was just like it was such an amazing experience. I can't think of any other words that can describe like how I felt seeing it, but it was just like, wow, like I was very emotional, and when I get that way, I tend to kind of like I tense up because I'm trying to hold it together. So it's just like, and I guess for me, it's also one of the things where it's like, it's kind of like that mentality where it's just like, oh, this is for girls. Like, it's like, like, oh, this is like, don't be emotional. Like, this is nothing. Like, but it's like, but it's everything.
I tell you, if I wasn't smiling so much, I would have cried. But I was just so smiley.
Yes, exactly. It was just like, it was just so many emotions at once. And I think it's just a testament to it was like, I think for me, like, it was the culmination of my Sailor Moon experience, like over 30 years of, this franchise, and, and how far we've come and how much we have gotten over the years. You couldn't have told teenager me that we were going to get a revival of the anime, the musical, and have a live show in America.
I never thought that would have happened, honestly.
You could have never, because when they said it was over, it was over. Like when Sailor Moon stopped airing in, like, was it 97?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get anything else until 2003. And that was one season and a movie. And nothing came out until like what, maybe like 10, 15 years later?
Yeah, that's when everything blew up again.
Right. And so it's just like, and it was like, and of course we're like, okay, the Super Live show happened. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's it. We don't know what else is going to happen. And then next thing we know, they're like, oh, it's airing on YouTube. We're like, oh my God, like what?
That caught me by surprise, because I thought, especially with how they treated the first version of Super Live, I thought we would never get a recording of the new version. And like, hey, free on YouTube. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Right. I'm waiting to see which Sea of Serenity people are gonna capture these shows. For the archive. For the archive.
Join the Discord.
I'm on it. I am on it. I trust and believe I am on it. But yeah, it was just like, I'm so glad that we walked back to our hotel room, because I had to process. I had to process. I was so on cloud nine. I wasn't even cold, and it was cold that night. But I was not cold because I was just like, that really happened.
It really did. Like, I was like sitting in the Uber, just like, oh my God, that really I'm buzzing still. I'm like, ah.
It's like it went by so fast. Like, it's just like, jeez. And I was like texting, and I was like, it was so amazing. I've never seen anything like this in the UK. You won't believe.
I'm like screeching in the Sea of Serenity server, like, oh my God, it was so good.
And my friend Jasmine, she was going to the New York show. She went to both of them.
Oh, lucky duck.
And I was like, what? And she was like, I hope I see Naoko.
Did she?
I don't think she did, but I think Naoko was at one of the shows, but she didn't see her.
Oh, she definitely was. They caught her on camera.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh my gosh, like, and it was just, I was so excited to go, and I was originally going to go to the Seattle show, but my brother's birthday was that weekend, so I was like, no, I can't. I need to be there for his birthday. I ended up being sick anyway, so I couldn't even go even if I wanted to.
Aww.
And then my friend works in Chicago, and so he was like, oh, like, like, I have points, we can get a hotel room, let's just go, and stuff like that. So he's like, I'm an honorary Moonie, like, I tried to watch as much of Sailor Moon as I could too. And I was like, you don't have to watch Sailor Moon for this show. Like, because and it was just like seeing the manga panels, like animated like that on the screen and stuff like that, it was just like, oh my gosh, like
That is one thing I'm really happy they kept from 1.0.
yes. Yes. So was there any other elements that stuck out to you? I loved seeing the markings on the stage. So I think for me it was like I told Z that I was paying extra attention to the stage setup, the markings on the floor, the costume, because she's into stuff like that. And I was like, this is not just experience for me, it's also an experience for Z, because I know she didn't have the opportunity to go to the show. Lo and behold, she gets to watch both shows on YouTube.
Z, I hope you enjoy the crap out of them.
So she watched the UK show and she was like on her stories, like she's like, I'm literally crying right now.
It's so good. I mean, even if you don't see it in person, it's so good. But speaking towards your question,
Yes.
it was really hard for me to focus on the elements because I'm staying at this cast, because I'm like, I have your pictures on my wall, I have your posters, you are right in front of me, oh my god. But
Gosh, you need to send me a picture of your wall.
I definitely will. One thing that stood out to me was honestly the costumes, because seeing them online or like on via a screen versus in person is so different. They move so much more fluid in person. Like even like just like seeing Usagi's hair like flow in the wind, I was like, what is this? This is like real life. It never really occurred to me like watching things, and then like as I see it in person, like I see what people go in person see as experience, because it's a different experience than seeing
Yes.
it online.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like you gotta get them good seats too.
Now that's my next goal.
Yes. Well, I mean, the Sailor Moon Museum is coming.
If they come to Chicago, I am down. I'm right there, first one in, please.
Because because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have the Miyu costumes there too. So
Think I won't be there?
right. I'm like, I gotta figure out a way to wherever it's gonna be. I'm gonna be there. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I gotta figure it out.
They're lucky I missed Anime Expo, because I know that the Super Life costumes were there at that time and I wasn't able to go, but I won't miss it again.
So I love that you're I love that you're a Miyu fan, just like Z is. So, and we've talked about this before, like as far as like, you know, our ideas for like musicals. So it's like, what would you want to see if Sarah Miyu returned to the States? Is there a specific storyline, for example, or something like that you would like to see happen? And not even just to the States, just in Miyu in general.
Okay, this is a really good question. For me, if Mew continues at all, because I'm pretty sure Super Live's going to go on for a while, because they're going to milk the crap out of this. It's a good seller. They're going to go worldwide. This is not the end of the Super Live. We're going to see more, and hopefully more countries.
The musicals are pretty cheap to make, so that's why they keep doing them.
Exactly, and I know Latin America wants it bad, so they need to be next.
Yes.
Shout out to all my Latin American Moonies. I see y'all. I hope y'all get Super Live next. But for mainline Mew, I would hope, and it's something I've been wanting for a while, because they have remade past musicals before.
Yes.
Redo the Dracula art. It is right in front of your face. It is so good, and like it's so slept on because people think like, oh, Sailor Moon and vampires. That doesn't make sense. Watch it.
Oh my god.
Watch it.
It's so complex. The storyline is so complex, and I love Miyuki Kanbei.
Oh, my queen.
And a lot of my favorite songs came from the Transylvania.
Banger soundtracks. Like,
yes.
like, remade, especially like with modern technology. Like, if you took like the Super Lives technology and did it with Dracula musical, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be amazing. I'm sorry. I get really excited about this crap.
I love it. So, I know you had some questions for us. So, what questions were those?
Okay, so my first question for you guys would be, what is your favorite part of creating Moonlight Justice? And what would be your goal for the future that you want to achieve with this podcast?
So Moonlight Justice was kind of like an out of the blue type thing. When I was on TikTok as the Sailor Moon guy. I was doing lives, and like I said, I have social anxiety, so I don't like getting on live at all. So I would get online with Z and another friend of ours, Alumi, who was a part of our first season, and we were just talking like we're talking right now. Like it's just like the excitement and talking about random things and Mew and PGSM and stuff like that, and just getting each other's experience, stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? We have great chemistry. We love Sailor Moon. We love talking about Sailor Moon. Let's do a podcast. And we were toying with the idea, and it was like, what are we going to call ourselves? And Moonlight Justice is one of my favorite Miyu songs.
As it should be.
And it just felt like the right name for our podcast. It was like not just talking about Sailor Moon, but also bringing justice to the Sailor Moon universe. So that was kind of like the idea behind it, where it's like we're not just gonna get online and geek about Sailor Moon on podcast. We want to dive into the depths of Sailor Moon, and we haven't gotten there yet. So that's probably my goal. So it's funny. It's like we're in season 2, and season 2 is going to wrap up with the Super Live series, and season 3 is probably going to be like akin to like the Infinity arc, where it's like we get a little, we go a little bit deeper, we get to go a little bit darker.
Ooh,
So to talk about some of those, controversial things that happen in Sailor Moon that people don't necessarily understand or have the capacity to appreciate because it's so off the wall, like the misconception of Mamoru's age, and his relationship with Usagi, the infamous Alabama scene with Black Lady kissing her dad, and and people, it's like, and people are like, oh, it's it's this, and it's not appropriate, and what the heck is going on? And it's just like, I think it's also attributes to the misconception of Sailor Moon as a whole, where an adult woman wrote this story and she was tackling complex themes. Electric Complex is real.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to Sailor Moon.
Yes.
I mean, I remember
Complex, and like inappropriate relationship dynamics. Talk about Prince Diamond and his obsession with Neo Queen Serenity, and by extension, Sailor Moon. And it's just like, and I think it's also just misconception of ages across the characters in general. And that's speaking from personal experience for me too, where when I was watching Sailor Moon as a teenager, I assumed that Usagi was growing up with me. So in my mind, Usagi was 18 by the time Stars came around, and she wasn't.
No. When it comes to that, especially, we have Chibiusa kissing a horse.
Yes.
So I can't wait for those episodes. I will be tuned in, glued in. my viewership will be right there.
Right. And I think it's also it's very, I think about that too. It's like, okay, people kind of minimizing the emotional connection that she made with Helios through Pegasus.
Mm-hmm. And
people just watering it down to, oh, she's in love with the horse and stuff like that. And it's just like, how many of you guys kissed your pets? Not in a romantic way, but you kiss them because you felt love for them. They're like your family and stuff like that. I kind of think it like that, where it's you have this affection for this animal. You see them as an animal, and then the animal turns out to be a cute boy. Okay.
It's well, I guess I kind of got 2 birds with 1 stone with that, I guess. Well,
and I think that the one reason why I love Z so much is Z is a very positive person, and she is one of the most kind-hearted people that I know. Mm-hmm. And I want to be as very, very mindful of how we approach this. So I think that part of the discourse when it comes to those subjects is that it tends to turn into this argument and debate when it doesn't have to be. I'm not arguing or debating to be right or to tell you that you are wrong. And I think that that's the difference between us when we're talking about these things, is that how you feel about Mamoru Anosagi's age is completely valid. How you feel about Black Lady and Tuxedo Mask is valid. How you feel about Helios, Pegasus, and Chibiusa is valid. My only ask when we talk about these things is that A, you can understand where I'm coming from, and that B, you can add that perspective to your own without having to change your opinion.
Right. I think that's always fair.
Yeah, and so I think that that's ultimately the thing. It's like I'm never going to get on this podcast and say, "Well, Jay, you're wrong because because you said da 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 da," and it's actually da 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 da. And I think we get enough of that online as it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's just like and being like kind of like being in like the forefront of the Sailor Moon community with the Sailor Moon edits that I do. I get those, holier than thou on my high horse. Well, actually, and I'm like, I'm aware, I'm very aware. Like,
just like that's crazy. That's crazy. You're entitled to your opinion, but I don't think I asked for it. But that's fine.
Right? It's just like it just runs the gamut where it's just like. They're, the original composer for the Sailor Moon 90s anime was Arisawa Takanori. Yes, I love his music. Well, then why are you making an edit without his music? I'm like, because I want to provide a different feel for this edit. And I don't just want to repost clips from Sailor Moon.
Right.
There are plenty of amazing accounts that do that already. I don't have to. I'm not in a space where I have to compete with Sailor Moon content. I could just make my own, and if you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's fine too. I don't need you to point it out.
There's a simple skip button. You don't have to watch it.
Right, you don't have to scroll. It's just like, not everybody likes the DIG version. Not everybody likes the Viz version. I like the Japanese version. That's where most of my content comes from. But I do try to pay homage to PGSM fans, Miyu fans, English fans, because ultimately we all like the same thing. The message is still the same.
Exactly. I mean, that's one thing I really appreciate about the Sailor Moon community, because we have our outliers. I think every community has that. Yes. But there's so many loving and accepting people in our community who, even if we like different versions of the material, we all love the same thing at the end of the day.
I agree 100%. So does that answer your question?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Oh, it's another future goal is I hope that one day me and Z will be able to do a panel at a con.
Oh my god, if you do record it, I want to see it.
Yeah, so I definitely want to go to a con. We want to dress up like our Moonlight Justice, cover characters. But I think it'd be really cool to do a panel and kind of like talk about Sailor Moon at a con. I think that's one of my ultimate goals. Hopefully we'll be able to realize it.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. If I can't attend, I'm recording that myself. I'm telling you right now. That's great, though. It's a great goal.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so question number 2 I have for you guys.
Okay.
If you could bring back one cast member from any Sailor Moon musical and have them play a role in the Super Live, who would it be?
Oh man, that's tough. Jeez. Oh man, there's so many. This definitely has to this character has to have an this actor has to have an asterisk next to their name, because there's so many people I would love to see come back. Gosh, I would like to see if they would tweak the Super Live show, because I know that Dark Kingdom arc is kind of like the bread and butter for these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see. So I'm going to kind of like tie it into like what would I like to see in a Sarah Miyu question. In addition to what actor I'd like to see come back, I would like to see them expand the Super Live show akin to the Nogi Miyu.
Okay.
So maybe like an expanded Dark Kingdom story arc, right? Get some generals in there, Queen Serenity, because I would love to see Anza play Queen Serenity.
Oh, good pick, good pick.
Gosh, there's so many. Like Anza is definitely top there. It's like either Anza or Satomi as Queen Serenity. I think that they would be great additions, and it's like for me, it's like, and I would like Team Moon, Team Star, where it's like one is in one and one is in the other. I think it's just a great way to kind of like divvy that up and give everybody a chance. Gosh.
It's a shame you almost had that too, and if Prism on Ice wouldn't have got canceled, you would have had Queen Serenity Anza.
Right. And I would like to see Mikako Ishii play Kunzite.
Ooh.
I think she'd be a really good Kunzite. I think she has very classic features, and I just love to see her. I loved her as Sailor Pluto.
Absolutely.
And I loved her as Tuxedo Mask, so I know she can pull off a Kunzite. And when as evil Endymion, I know she could be a good Kunzite.
Oh, you're so... I never thought about that.
And I would love to see the actress that played Tiger's Eye / Kunzite. I would like to see her play Zoisite.
Interesting.
And yeah, I would. Honestly, I would leave Jada and Nephrite to you because you're a little bit more knowledgeable about these things than I would be.
Jada and Nephrite.
I think Riona Tatamichi would be a good Nephrite.
I think Riona Tatamichi just needs to play every role at this point.
Yes, oh my gosh, I just love her. I love her so much. I love Riona. So it's like if I ever have an opportunity to include Riona in it, I'm going to include Riona in it.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, I fell in love with her in La Petite Étrangère as Rubius, and I just I love the Hikari Ono journey for her. Like her becoming Star Maker was like the ultimate tribute to Hikari Ono. I know that's what they were doing with her.
They did it because she pretty much played almost every role Hikari has played, except for Demand, but she played Rubius instead, so she kind of was doing that,
She would have been a good Demand too.
She would have.
She would have, and I would have. Who was I going to say that I would love to see? I love it. But I love Riona because Riona also played another of my favorite characters in another musical. She played Jury from Utena.
Yes, I have heard about that.
And Aminojo, who played Jupiter, was Utena herself.
Queen.
So I was just like, so for me, it was like that's what got me into the Utena musicals. I love Utena, but when I found out Riona was in it, I was like, oh, it's over. I have to watch it because Riona's in it. And just the versatility she has as an actress, just amazing. And she's a choreographer.
Right. What can she not do?
Right. It was just like, and her nose is just,
I love that woman.
Right. So, and for Jadeite, gosh, I wouldn't know who I would cast as Jadeite. But I would probably want Yuga to come back as Tuxedo Mask.
Okay. I see you there.
Yeah. I don't think I would change the main cast or Beryl, but just with those additional roles with an expanded Dark Kingdom story arc, I think that would be a great way to see some returning actors from the past and kind of create a more robust show. What about you? I need you to answer this question.
Oh, me. This is hard because I really fell in love with both Team US and Team UK.
Right.
But, okay, this is going to be, theoretically speaking, if we had, another team to play in another country, because they love to do the team thing.
Right.
And I'm going to pick one actress, because if I don't just pick one, I'll be here all day. But if I could pick one, it'd be to bring back Senna from 2018 Super Live and also Super Live in Taipei.
Okay.
Bring her back as Venus because she never got a recorded show, and oh my god, the clips I've seen, she is amazing, and I am so upset we don't have a full show with her.
Right.
She is so good.
Right. That's actually really amazing. I'm going to throw in one more question for you.
Ooh, okay.
Because we talked about this in our initial Sarah Miyu kind of like extravaganza episode because we were just like, let's talk about Miyu. So Z's question was that if you could make your own Sarah Miyu, who would you cast and what would the story be about?
I used to make videos about this. Wait.
So for Z, she was like, I want to see a Silver Millennium Miyu, like just about Silver Millennium, and the way it ended was with Usagi appearing at the end, like silhouette, like, and saying like, "Hi, I'm Usagi. You know, I'm 14 years old, but secretly I'm Sailor Moon," and that's how the musical ends.
Oh,
So
that's cute.
So what would you do, my Miyu guru?
Oh, I think. Okay. Here's probably what I would end up doing. I would do a Stars Mew, but similar to how like Aang and Densetsu brought back like Queen Beryl, I would bring back, instead of having the anime mates, bring back all of the villains as tests to see how strong Sailor Moon is by Chaos.
Ooh.
And I'll probably switch things up a little bit, like such as keeping a few Senshi alive, because we kill them all off in like the base story. But keep a few alive, but then having like Chaos control them anyway. So it's like, and you see them like fighting, trying to save themselves, but they can't. That would be like a really interesting thing. And Mew loves to brainwash people, so I think that'd be a good idea. I think that would kind of fit in.
This is sounding very Bandai Miyu, by the way.
Right. So taking some inspiration from Bandai there.
Right.
As for casting, that's hard. There's so many amazing people. But at least for Inner Senshi, well, okay. If it was like a modern day musical, I would probably still cast the Kaguya cast because like just to keep it more simple.
Right.
But if I'm just like bringing some Nogimi people, like they don't get enough love. They get one show and that's it. Bring them back.
I need Nogimiyu to just go ahead and do a full story, like a full story arc of all the arcs at this rate.
I've been screeching about this for like years and they have never listened to me. Like, somebody do it. Like, I need them to bring back Mikako. If she's not gonna be, since they like have a new cast and stuff, if she's not gonna be Tux anymore, she can bring back and be Pluto again. I'm not complaining, girl. Come back. I miss you.
She was amazing as Pluto.
Oh, she's my favorite. Like,
yeah, she's my favorite too. Like,
see, you got good taste.
And she's funny, and that's.
She is hilarious, and she's just a big fan, like all of us.
Right. Oh my gosh, when she cried at the end of that, I was like, oh.
It's not the end of a Nelke musical unless Mikako cries. Then you know it's the end.
But it's like for her to bring humor in the role in Immortal Eternal and the movie finale just tickled me so much.
I love her, and like I never got to see her live, but I did see when they brought Le Mouvement Final to American cinemas and like had them subtitled. I did get to see her like on a big screen. I was like, oh my
yes, oh my gosh, that was such something you never like. I never would thought would happen. I was like, oh, I'm going to this, and I went by myself.
Yep, exactly same.
Right there.
And there was like 2 other people in the theater with me. Like
exactly,
I didn't care.
Right. It was like, okay, y'all do y'all thing. Let's do this over here and do mine. Watch my little show and go home.
Right. I should have bought a snack. I don't know why I didn't.
Right. Should have just made a whole experience. But yeah, it's just like. So, okay, one more question, and then I'll let you go.
Yes, I do have one more.
So, out of the 3.
Out of the 3.
3 iterations of Miyu, we had Bandai, Nelke, and I'm gonna kind of like say Nogi is kind of like its own thing, even though it's like the same company.
Okay.
But out of those 3, actually, I'm not going to ask you to pick one. I want you to rank them.
No, you didn't.
Rank them.
Oh, I'm gonna get flamed by somebody. Oh, okay. Okay, this actually isn't that hard for me though. But
Okay.
oh, somebody's gonna be mad. But anyway, okay, Nogi's top. I'm sorry.
Okay. What?
Okay, but hear me out. The way that they handled the story was unlike Bandai or Nelke, however you want to pronounce that. I'm still mad at them, so regardless, however they are. But they handled this one arc with so much love. And the music, the soundtrack, honestly, to me, there's never been a better Mew soundtrack than the Nogizaka musicals.
Yeah, you're right. Especially because it's the Dark Kingdom arc.
Right, and Dark Kingdom is very overplayed at this point. Everyone knows this.
Yes.
But I could watch 1,000 more Nogi Mews and not be mad about it. Like, it just is so good. The stage effects, especially in the 2024 version, like, those stage effects were like, I was jaw-dropped. Like, the burning city, I was like, hello?
Right.
So, and plus the cast, I always love the cast, so I'm gonna have to say Nogi first,
Okay.
then Nelka, and then Bandai.
Okay. I would have to say, like, yeah, that's kind of like how I would rank it. It'd probably be Nelke, Nogi, then Bandai, just because I watched Bandai last.
Yeah.
But I love Bandai. Nelke, I just feel like probably had the most like accurate costuming, and the staging and setup got better as it went along. Nogi Me, you lost me with the clown bow costumes. Sorry. Their first initial costumes, I was like, what is this?
You know what? I was part of the group that hated it at first. I was like, what is this? But I think after watching the show, I was like, it doesn't bother me anymore. It actually works well. Watching it in action, like you're not really paying attention that well. And I love Megumi as Venus. Oh, queen.
She's my favorite. So she stole the show from me. I was like, oh my god, like her voice was amazing. But I was really excited for the 2024 version because it had better costumes.
It did, and better effects.
Yes.
Oh, there's such. If I could mesh both versions together, it'd be the perfect.
Yes. yes. So it's like I could definitely see, like, it was like that iteration of the Dark Kingdom arc is probably the best, because Lyra Conquista, while it was good, it was not Nogi Miyu good. Like if they had done that instead of Lyra Conquista, it would have been a solid revival through and through.
Yeah, but Super Live is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, and I have a special place in my heart for it, and it will never be topped in that aspect.
Right.
But no Dark Kingdom Mew has done it like the Nogi Mew did. Just they haven't done it yet. Now do the other arcs. Don't be scared.
Well, Jay, thank you for taking the time and energy to join me. I know we are very sad that Z was not able to join us because she wasn't feeling well. But I hope that she will have all the giggles and the smiles when she listens to this episode, because we mentioned her throughout the entire thing. So
I had a great time. And Z, if you're watching this, which I hope you should be, I hope you feel better, and we definitely need to talk about Mew together.
Right, yeah. So we are talking about doing another Mew episode, because when we did the initial one, I was like, we're not going to be able to get through everything. Like, we're talking about over 30 years worth of musicals and then some. So we'll definitely. So yeah, I am officially extending an invitation for you to join us for our next Mew episode.
I'll gladly accept. Hello.
All right. So thank you, and we will see you again.
Bye.
Bye.